Namaskar, I am Ramprapanna Bhattacharya and let me welcome you to today's episode of the series of learning different aspects of the musical instrument sitar. Today we will discuss a very important prerequisite for playing sitar, that is to know the instrument. To be able to explore and get the best out of the musical instrument, we need to understand what are the different parts of it, their role and importance. So if you see this particular model, which is probably the most famous and mostly adopted model of sitar today across the globe, is called Gandhar Pancham sitar, which was introduced, this particular model was introduced by Ustad Vilayat Khan. And there is another model of sitar which is very popular, which is called Kharach Pancham sitar, which was introduced and played by Pandit Ravi Shankar ji. These are the two most important and mostly used versions of sitar. There are a few other versions also, which we'll discuss maybe in some other episode, and we will discuss the difference between the Kharach Pancham and Gandhar Pancham sitar. Basically the similarities are more, there are very few differences in terms of string arrangement and the design. We will discuss in another episode. Today we will focus mostly on this Gandhar Pancham sitar and its tuning system and different parts. So if you see the sitar, there are two parts, this round shaped part and this neck of the sitar. So this part is called tumba. Okay, this is called tumba, which is essentially made of pumpkin. And this particular part, the front part, this is made of pumpkin, and remaining part is made of wood, either teak wood or tun wood. And this tabli, there is certain thickness, and based on the thickness the sound of the sitar varies. There are different parameters and different factors which define the sound of the sitar, how the sitar sound will be. Dimensions, different dimensions like length, width of this part, size of this particular pumpkin. All these things matter to determine the sound of the sitar. So as I said, this part is called tumba, which is made of pumpkin, and the front part, front cover, this is made of wood. And here you see there is a joint which actually connects this pumpkin part and the wooden part. Here you can see one joint, and here you can see the other joint, right? So only this part is pumpkin, and from this part it is all wood. So basically this is a hollow box. There is a great science behind this particular musical instrument. I remember in our physics curriculum, there was a different chapter called musical instrument, which was very interesting. So this is a hollow box, and the air within it actually contributes to the sound which is produced. So this dand, ends here, and it starts from here, and it is connected to this part. And on this particular dand there are two parts basically. One part actually holds the pegs or khuti, to which the strings are connected, and this part actually holds the frets, which is called fretboard. This is called fretboard, where the frets, the metallic frets, are connected, attached to it, right? If you see from close, you can see this. And this white part and this edge you can see is made of celluloid. Sometimes we play with mizrab and stroke on the sitar. So if it is wood, then it might get damaged. So this celluloid part, which is beautifully, placed here, you can see. So this actually protects from the heat of the mizrab or the plectrum, right? Okay. On tabli, you can see there is a beautiful design here, right? There is a wood curvature, beautiful design, and there are very two small holes. If I bring it closer, you can see on the eyes of these swans, you can see two very small holes, which helps to pass the air, okay, within it. And there are two bridge, we call it bridge, so you can see, through which the strings pass. This is the bridge, main bridge, and this is the bridge, smaller bridge for the sympathetic strings, to pass the sympathetic strings. So there are two sets of strings. One is the main string, set of main strings which pass through this particular bridge, and the smaller bridge actually holds the sympathetic strings or taraf strings, which are going under these frets, not above these frets. So these main strings, these strings are passing through this bridge, and they are passing over the fret. And these are the sympathetic strings. These are the sympathetic strings which I am playing with my little finger. They are passing through this smaller bridge, and they are passing under the fret, and they are connected to these smaller khutis or smaller pegs, sympathetic strings. These are the pegs for the sympathetic strings. Now if I show you how the string is connected at one end, which is the fixed end, you can see this, there is a metallic holder here, okay, and there is a small screw like structure which holds the sympathetic ends of all the sympathetic strings are tied to this one, this particular screw like structure. And you can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 other holders where the loops of these main strings are connected. Okay, this is the fixed part of the string, one end strings, all the strings. And you can see beautiful swan like structure which is called manka, or these beads are actually used for fine tuning. While playing, if the strings gets disbalanced, then there is a minute difference. In that case, we use these beads to do the fine tuning. Here you can see these are the two beads which I have connected for a couple of strings, and on the other end you can see couple of beads which are connected. These are used for fine tuning when we play. Okay, so these are the major things on the tabli side. The beads, these are called langots, or the holders for the strings, and the bridges, two bridges. And this is called tabli and this is called tumba, as I said. Now if we come down to the other side, to the neck part of it, or dand, very beautiful structure, right? There are 2-3 major parts. One is the fret, set of frets, metallic frets, which are made of German silver, and the pegs for the sympathetic strings, khutis for the sympathetic strings. In Gandhar Pancham Sitar, the number of sympathetic strings are 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And there are several frets, you can see, starting from here and ending at here. So each of these frets are having certain notes. They represent certain note. For an example, it starts with tivrama, lower pitch tivrama, pa, lower pitch pa, lower octave komaldha, lower octave suddha, lower octave komalni, lower octave suddhani, middle octave sa, then middle octave suddha re. You can move this to get middle octave komal re. This is movable fret. This is middle octave komal ga, middle octave suddha ga, middle octave suddhama, tivrama, pa. Again there is a small space for komaldha, middle octave komaldha. We can adjust it using this particular fret, which is currently set to middle octave suddha, middle octave komalni, middle octave suddhani, higher octave sa, tar saptak sa. and there is again space for middle octave Komal, higher octave Komal Re, then higher octave Shuddha Re, a space for higher octave Komal Ga, then higher octave Shuddha Ga, higher octave Shuddha Ma, which can be adjusted to higher octave Tivra Ma as well. So these are the frets, and you can see small buttons here under the frets on the fretboard. These are nothing but the outlets for the sympathetic strings. So sympathetic strings, you see, these are connected at this end, and they pass through they go under this particular main bridge and through this smaller bridge, Taraf bridge, and they pass through this pass under this particular frets, which you can see, and go inside the hollow box of the dand and connects to these pegs. We will make a separate video how to change the sympathetic strings and how to change the main strings of sitar. Then you will see how these are connected to these pegs through these small buttons. Okay, these are basically small outlets. You see very small holes you can see through this strings pass. Very beautiful structure. Now we discussed about the sympathetic string pegs, the frets, metallic frets. Now let us come to the main string pegs, which pass through the main bridge, the bigger bridge, right? So let us start with the main strings. This is the main string on Nayaki tar, which is tuned to Shuddha Ma. This mapping is very important. Which string is connected to which peg? Otherwise, I will try to tune some string and maybe moving some other string. If we don't know which string is connected to which peg, then the string might break. So this is very important to know for a student, which string is connected to which peg or khuti. This is Shuddha Ma. This is Shuddha Ma. Tuned to Shuddha Ma, this is main string, and tuned to lower octave Shuddha Ma, Mandra Saptak Shuddha Ma. For Gandhar Pancham sitar, this peg is blank. There is no string attached to it. That's why you can see the decorative thing is connected to this peg. This is empty. There is no string attached to it in the Gandhar Pancham model of sitar. This is Joda string, copper string, which is tuned to lower octave Sa, Mandra Saptak Sa. Now this particular peg is Gandhar string, connects to the Gandhar string, lower octave or Mandra Saptak Shuddha Ga. This we can change based on the rag. These are tuned based on the rag. This particular peg is called Pancham string, lower octave Pancham, steel Pancham string. Okay, and these two pegs, these two are called Chikari strings. One is Madhya Saptak Sa, first Chikari, and this is Tar Saptak Sa, second Chikari. So these 6 strings, main, Joda, Gandhar, Pancham, first Chikari, second Chikari. So these 6 strings in Gandhar Pancham sitar. Main string, which is tuned to, again let me repeat, main string tuned to Mandra Saptak Ma, where we play the most, our left hand removes the most. This is the Joda string, a Jod string, which is tuned to Mandra Saptak Sa, lower octave Sa. Here also we play with second finger. Remaining strings are only for strumming. We don't use our left hand. In main and Joda, these 2 strings we use our left hand. But in Gandhar, Pancham and these 2 Chikaris are just for strumming purpose. We generally don't play with our left hand. Joda is tuned to Mandra Saptak Sa. Gandhar string is tuned to Mandra Saptak Gandhar. This is tuned to Pancham string is tuned to Mandra Saptak Pancham. These are the 2 Chikari strings, Madhya Saptak Sa or middle octave Sa, and this is Tar Saptak Sa or higher octave Sa. This is the tuning system of Gandhar Pancham sitar. And let me quickly cover the tuning system of these sympathetic strings. Again, you have to remember these tuning of these strings, except main string, Joda string and 2 Chikari string, remaining strings like Gandhar, Pancham and Taraf strings will change based on the raga being played. For an example, if we play raga Malkons, we will not tune this to Shuddha Gandhar and pancham, because these two notes are not used in raga malkons. So they need to be changed based on the rag we are representing. All these tarab strings will be changed based on rag we are representing. I am showing you at this point for the raga bilaval, for which all the notes are Shuddha notes. Okay. So this is Ni. In Gandhar Pancham style, this first string is tuned to Ni. Then this is Sa. This is Dha or Sa or Ni, anything you can tune to. Third peg. This is Re. This is Ga. This is Ma. So lower octave Ni, middle octave Sa, lower octave Dha, middle octave Re, middle octave Ga, middle octave Ma, middle octave Pa, middle octave Dha, middle octave Ni, higher octave of Tar Saptak Sa. This is Tar Saptak Re or higher octave Re. This is Tar Saptak or higher octave Ga. And to be able to play these strings individually with either this nail or this nail is very important, and which string we are strumming and which peg it is connected to while tuning, this mapping is extremely important, as I have said earlier. Otherwise we will strum some string and move another peg, which will end up in breaking the strings, which we don't want. So again, to tell you, this is main string Ma, Joda string, Gandhar, Pancham, first Chikari, second Chikari. The taraf strings, this is Ni, first taraf is Ni, Sa, Dha, Re, Ga, Ma, Pa, Dha, Ni, Sa, Re and Ga. And once we strum these taraf strings consecutively, it sounds very beautifully. Okay, now a couple of additional things. On this dand, you can see there are two small bridges here, bridge-like structure. You know, in Bengal, these are called Ada and Saraswati. Ada and Saraswati, and some people call them as Tar Gahan because the strings pass through this. Tar means string and Gahan means the structure through which it passes, Tar Gahan. And you can see a beautiful structure here for this one. And generally between these two bridges, makers make their logo, keep their logo here, the name of the maker generally you can see. And you know, I have kept sandpaper here because these beads go, you know, move of its own sometimes because of the difference in temperature or whatever reason it is. So I just wanted these beads to be, you know, fixed. That's why I have just kept this sandpaper, and once I move, you know, they remain as is. And here also a few people keep sandpaper so that this beads don't move of its own while playing because of the strings vibration of the string. And two things I would like to mention. These are the different parts of the instrument. Two things I would like to mention. Like, by playing with our left hand, what we essentially do, we actually fix the length of the string. If you see, once I am pushing the string on fret Sa and I am strumming, I am essentially allowing this part of the string to vibrate from here to this bridge, and remaining part, this part is not vibrating. Okay, so you see, we are moving our hand closer to the bridge, the pitch of the sound which is getting produced is higher. the smaller the length of the string getting vibrated, we get higher pitch of sound. Sa, re, la, you see, going higher once we are moving our finger towards the higher fret. So once we are playing ma or ga, then this part, very long part of the string is not vibrating, only this part of the string is vibrating. So the length of the string which is vibrating is here to here. So the science is, smaller the length of the string is, the pitch of that particular sound getting produced will be higher. If the length of the string which is getting vibrated is longer, then the pitch will be lower. So the low pitch musical instruments are generally of longer size, like Surbahar or Veena, which is played in low pitch. Their length is higher because their strings are longer, and maybe their sound box is proportionately bigger. If we want to create instrument of high pitch, the length of the instrument becomes smaller, because essentially the length of the strings also gets smaller. So this is the science behind it, behind the sound getting produced. And here the bridge, sound of this particular, the quality of the sound getting produced by our strumming depends on many factors, whether the string is old, if there is little bend on the strings, and also depending on the smoothness or the inclination of the surface of this bridge, which is called javari. So as part of the regular maintenance, the strings are replaced and the surface of these bridges are made even based on the need of the sound. Like there are different types of javari, like open javari or closed javari or gol javari, which are basically different types of the sounds of the strings. We try to visualize the kind of sound that sitar produces, if it is sharp or if it is not sharp, if it is round or if it is little dense. Based on that, the expert sitar makers, they do the maintenance work by making this surface smooth with sandpaper or file. And again, you see the length of the sympathetic strings also vary based on this, the pitch of the sympathetic strings also vary based on the length. So it is closer towards the end, you get the higher pitch. This is Tarsaptak Ga, Tarsaptak Re, Sa, like that. Once the length of the string is higher, then the pitch of the sound is also higher. Sorry, probably I told just the opposite. The length of the string is smaller, the pitch will be higher. If the length is longer, the pitch will be low. And another very beautiful thing is, because of this hollow box, as it has air inside it, once we play any note on the fret, if the sympathetic strings are accurately tuned, it catches the exact frequency of this note being played, and the string catches its frequency and it gets vibrated by itself without even stopping. For an example, you can hear a resonance even after the sound of this main string, after my stroke. So this is getting vibrated because it is catching the frequency of the sound getting produced of its own, and it is vibrating by itself even without my manual strumming. So when I play re, then this re sympathetic strings or taraf string is getting vibrated of its own. See? When I am playing ga, then the sympathetic string, which is tuned to Shuddha ga, is getting vibrated of its own without even my manual strum. Similarly, ma, pa, dha, knee, So let us conclude today's session here. If you have any question regarding today's topic, the different parts of the musical instrument and the science behind the instrument structure and body, please write to me in the email address which is given in the description or in the comment box. Thank you for watching this session, and we will come up with next episode very soon. And if you have not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to get this kind of educative and informative videos on sitar and music. Thank you so much. Namaskar.